can hear the answer to the question. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday to you. Welcome to the Fast Break here on HBCU Game Day. I'm Tolly Carr in Atlanta. It is Rivalry weekend. We have Clark Atlanta hosting Morehouse, but first, let's check out North Carolina A&T visiting North Carolina Central. Wally Pitt has the call.
Yes, indeed, back again. Game Day Nation, what it do? It's your boy Wally Pitt coming to you from Rivalry Week here on the Fast Break. It don't get no better than A&T and NCCU. A football field, a basketball court, a spades tournament, it don't matter. It's always a classic. We had some incredible atmosphere here. The fans were going back and forth. Both bowls were packed out. We also had a great game on the court that went down to the wire. I'm going to give you the highlights. I'm going to give you my layup line dunk contest, everything, all that, and then some. Let's check it out. It's Rivalry Week in HBCU hoops, so tie your sneakers up real tight, throw some Vaseline on your face, cause we in Durham, North Carolina for the Aggie Eagle Round Ball Classic. That mean pack of dogs from the 336 was looking to stay unbeaten in MEAC conference play, but the birds and the trap were here to remind them that the road to glory comes through the Eagle's nest, and the crowd at McDougal-McLennan Arena was bout that life. The sororities was out here stepping. The student section had some smoke for some OG Aggies in the upper bowl. And it was hype enough to have G-Ho legend Darren Big Baby Brand make a road trip. But before I show you these highlights, you already know we about to get into these pregame dunks. Now somebody must have heard me crown a MEAC dunk champ because everybody came with some fire in this one. Windmills. Off the glass, and A&T's Tyrone Lyons even hit me with the East Bay between the legs. Don't sleep on the MEAC because these boys got more bunnies than Hugh Hef. This crowd wasn't phasing the Aggies early in the first half. A&T jumps out to a 7-0 lead behind an Aaron Edmeade 3 and this Nelson Nweke skyhook. The Eagles wouldn't stay down long as Jabri Blunt gets this tough drive to the rack to fall. Then he follows it up with the Jordan Perkins assisted jam that ties it up at 8 and gets the Eagle crowd back into the mix. Rayshawn Davis gets a big block on Cameron Langley, but Langley was on his bone crusher. He ain't never scared to take it to the rack. This time he makes moves towards the bucket and gets the deuce. Randy Miller Jr. hits back-to-back threes. 6 of his game-high 21, and the first half continued to go back and forth. A&T's Ronald Jackson powers through some good D for the slam and an Aggie lead. Then he follows it up with a big-time block on Rashawn Davis. Big day for Jackson as he led A&T with 16 points. But you know Big Sean was going to get his face back. He gets another block of his own. Jordan Perkins finds Larry McKnight on the outlet for the two-hand flush that turns up the crowd and gives NCCU the lead. Amari Hamilton with the sweep bucket and the foul that gives the lead back to A&T. Then Jordan Perkins finds Jabri Blunt for a nice dunk that ties it back up at 26 apiece with 3 minutes till the break. I told y'all this first half was back and forth, but the Aggies didn't give it up for the rest of the half. Ronald Jackson hits a big 3 en route to a 31-26 Aggie lead at the half. And that lead got bigger in the second. Cam Langley with a nice drop off to Nelson Nweke for the deuce. Then Cam gets it done for himself with the lay-in. A&T goes up by 10, but here come the Eagles chipping away at the lead. Randy Miller Jr. looking like where's the foul as he banks in the tough layup. Next, he pulls up from beyond the arc, splashes it in for 3. Then Jordan Perkins and Rashawn Davis on the show and go alley-oop. The Eagles cut their deficit down to 4. Then down to 2 after Rashawn Davis gets the board and the bucket off the free throw. The Eagles' nest was buzzing. They were ready to get this dub over A&T, but the Aggies remained poised down the stretch, hit their free throws when they mattered most, and sent this rowdy Eagle crowd home with a 51-48 loss that keeps A&T on top of the MEAC and gives them even more bragging rights in their heated rivalry over NCCU. Let's keep it moving right into some women's hoops action from Saturday in Durham. I had to get to the gym early and check out the Lady Aggies, who came into this one 5-0 in conference play, just like the fellas. NCCU was only 1-4 in the MEAC, but that wasn't going to stop them from making this a game. Down 9 at the half, Paulina and Fry gets a big lay-in for the Eagles. Then Sierra Benton pulls up from mid-range. Then she takes this one to the rack for 2. Next, Jasmine Pollock nails a 3, and before you know it, the game is tied up at 42 all. But the Lady Aggies were not here for any of that comeback talk. Sequoia Foy was balling out of control. Here's a few highlights from her game-high 16 points. The Lady Aggies doing it from deep. Defense creating offense with blocks leading to layups. NCCU fights and claws but doesn't have enough to get past A&T. 52-49, Aggies get the win. The Eagles catch L's in both men's and women's action on Saturday night, and both teams are unbeaten in the MEAC. So there you have it. Durham, North Carolina. Aggies skate away with a close victory. They're sitting pretty in the MEAC, but as we've seen, anybody can beat anyone any day in this conference. We're going to check out the rest of the scores from Saturday as well. Let's check out some CIAA action.
Saturday's MEAC action. See what I did there? MEAC action. It starts off with Florida A&M with a 72-70 win over Coppin State. Over on the other side of Baltimore, Morgan State had a better result with Bethune-Cookman as they won 77-71. But man, Cottrell Pope had himself a game. 24 points, 22 boards, looking like baby Moses Malone out there. Check it out on YouTube, guys. A&T versus Central. You saw the highlights, you saw the movie. All I'm going to say is they were making all those dunks in the layup line and couldn't find the basket during the game. But hey, A&T gets the dub. Central licked those wounds. Maryland Eastern Shore trying to take on Norfolk State. Not happening this year, man. Norfolk is really balling out here. They get the 88-60 win. They're 7-0 in the MEAC, the best record. Now, Savannah State, South Carolina State was the opposite of Central and A&T. Savannah State gets the 92-88 win behind 29 points from Zach Sellers. Howard hosting Delaware State. Michelle Watts walks onto the floor as her son CJ Williams looks on. Now, he did not expect her to be there because she has been battling cancer all year. She hasn't been able to really make the games like she's wanted to, but the coaches asked her to come out for the Coaches versus Cancer game. She showed up. And CJ, he showed out. He had a game-high 29 points. RJ Cole chipped in 20 points in this ill crossover as Howard gets an 80-74 win over DSU. Bethune-Cookman women looking to show they are still dominant in the MEAC as they pick up a 73-69 win over Morgan State. North Carolina A&T, they got the win over North Carolina Central 52-49. The Howard women benefited from that home cooking as they pick up a 78-62 win over Delaware State. South Carolina State women, they pick up a dub 71-60 over Savannah State. Coppin State 73-53 over FAMU, and Maryland Eastern Shore hands Norfolk State its first women's basketball loss in the MEAC this year, 59-43. Shaw and St. Aug. Now, if you don't know about these schools, they're both in Raleigh, pretty much around the corner from each other. And so right now, St. Aug has the bragging rights as they pick up a 76-74 win over Shaw. They hold D2's leading scorer, Amir Hinton, to 23 points in the win. Down the road in the 9-1-0, Winston-Salem State goes into Fayetteville State and leaves out with a 66-63 win. Now, I went over to Salisbury to check out Livingstone and JCSU. Roger Ray, 21 points, 10 assists. Now, Lydell Elmo was a recipient of a few of them as he tried to tear the roof off of new Trent Gym. He added 10 boards and 3 blocks as LC rolled to an 85-75 win. Defending champs, Virginia Union found themselves in a dogfight with Lincoln, who's a very good team in the CIAA, but they get a 78-75 win. Bowie State, they picked up a 68-57 win over that school in Murfreesboro. And in the 252, VSU picking up a 69-54 win over Elizabeth City State. I gotta recognize Elizabeth City State, man. They had a Sager Strong night honoring former TV reporter Craig Sager, who lost his battle with cancer. Shout out to them for that special recognition. And man, look at those outfits. What is this, velvet? Where the ladies at? Where the ladies at? CIAA women's action. Fayetteville State picks up a big win at home, 56-51 over Winston-Salem State. Virginia Union, another game, another dub, 76-40 over Lincoln. They are now 16-1. The regular season, man, they just breeze right through it. ECSU gets a win at home over Virginia State, 72-59. Well, look here, somebody finally woke up Livingstone Lady Blue Bears because they beat the wheels off Johnson C. Smith, 76-57. Bowie State gets a 47-45 win over Chowan as they rebound from that loss to Virginia Union the other night. Whew, heartbreaker.
All right, thanks a lot, Wally, for that update from Durham. Now let's see who gets it in and who gets the win here in Atlanta. Will it be the Maroon Tigers or the Panthers?
The crowd at Clark Atlanta was ready and then some. Morehouse players focused. Handshake game on full display. The students dialed into every possession. The first three of the game by Shelvick Henry blew the roof off. Then Romaine Thomas makes the eye contact for the alley-oop. Man, forget about it. And the bank is open on Saturday night for Shannon Smith. Man, this crowd in a deep frenzy at Clark Atlanta. But James Walker has played in this game a time or two or three or four, and he's not bothered. This three-pointer puts Morehouse up 11-10. Maroon Tigers maintain the lead. Cario Whitfield down in the paint. And it's 21 Jump Street. The defense from Whitfield. Leon Marsikic would get his face back a little later, though. But right now, it's cherry-picking time. Thomas with the LeBron-esque dunk, and Clark Atlanta up 28-24 at the half. This play, three amazing things happen. There's the behind-the-back dribble by Robert Andrews. Then there's the block by Marsikic. I told you that he was going to get his face back somehow. And then Morehouse Keith Hurd just finishes off that play, a wild possession. Just over 11 to go, Hurd with the long two-pointer ties the game up at 40 apiece. Stop. Shelvick time. Shelvick Henry takes over. Spin cycle jumper. I was listening to MC Hammer the other day. That's where that came from. Then Morehouse loses him on the simple screen. Shot clock running down. The Clark Atlanta defense closes out. Craig Hall. Craig with the turnover forcing block. And don't you just hate when you're ready to dunk the ball and you take off just a little too soon off 2 feet? I mean, you needed to be Dominique to pull that one off, huh? Henry leading the break finds Jalen Mitchell. And then Henry with the quick hands and the strip on defense. And Clark Atlanta gives first-year head coach George Lynch a victory in his first ever CAU Morehouse matchup. The Panthers with the 68-60 win.
Oh, it was a great environment. I wish we could have that every night. The fans were there, the student body section was in it from the beginning of the game. And I think anytime, you got an atmosphere like that, it gives us that sixth man on the court.
It's special, knowing Coach Lynch coming from North Carolina and the Duke rivalry. I was telling him it might not be, as packed as North Carolina and Duke, but it's going to be a big game, big scenery, and I know it was important to him to come out his first game playing against Morehouse to get a victory, and it was great, man. He enjoyed it. He loved the atmosphere, and it's great we got the win for him tonight.
Well, there's some neck for you. A basketball game, a football game, an HBCU experience is not complete without that neck. All right, let's check out some scores from the SIAC and the SWAC.
We'll start with the SWAC women. Texas Southern just barely gets by UAPB. Alabama State rolling over Alcorn State. A tight one between Jackson State and Grambling. This one goes to the JSU. Mississippi Valley State falls to Prairie View on Saturday, and Southern gets by Alabama A&M. On to the SWAC men. Alabama A&M over Southern. Texas Southern. What's going on, fam? UAPB with the 4-point win. Alabama State, man, their men are for real in the SWAC this year. They defeat Alcorn in Montgomery over the weekend. Jackson State and Grambling close on the men's side as well. Give this one to Jackson again. And Prairie View over Mississippi Valley State. All right, coming back to the SIAC and the fellows. Fort Valley State over Payne. Hey, rivalry weekend, none bigger in Alabama than Miles and Tuskegee. Miles gets the win there. LeMoyne Owen over Central State. Lane big over Kentucky State, and Albany State over Benedict. On the women's side, it's Tuskegee 67, Miles 61. Fort Valley State over Payne. Clark Atlanta out of conference against Carver College on Saturday. Jaleesa Jones had her best day ever as a Lady Panther. She had 20 points. CAU, a little bit of a roll. Look out, the defending champs. They've now won 4 straight. 67-58 over Carver. LeMoyne Owen beats Central State. Benedict beats Albany State. And it's Lane over Kentucky State, 55-41. Okay, let's check in on Hampton and Tennessee State. On the men's side, Hampton with a big win over Campbell this weekend, 64-58. The Tennessee State men, oh, look away, Big Blue. 100-62 on the wrong side of that century mark. On the women's side, Campbell gets by Hampton and the Tennessee State women, their second win of the year over Murray State, 65-61, and it was all joy.
I am so happy for these young ladies. I'm so happy because it is not easy being in the boat that we've been in, but for anybody that's within the sound of my voice, we walk by faith. We've always walked by faith, and we believe in each other. We added Sabria Outlow back, and she was back to come back and play, and she came back in a huge way. I don't think I've seen more of an efficient stat line, 30 points in 22 minutes with no turnovers. The kid really played well, but shout out to Tia Wooten, 13 rebounds, which was huge for her. We had some really big production out of Jaden Wrightsell. She went down with an ankle sprain, but that kid's gonna put the team on her back. And you hear them in there celebrating right now because young people have to exhale, coaches have to exhale, and when you do it the right way, good things happen. So 1 led to 2, and we're hoping 2 leads to 3.
It's a great HBCU atmosphere here in Atlanta on Rivalry Weekend. Let's take a quick second to show you why it's so important to support our mission here at HBCU Gameday.
Why did you choose to support HBCU Gameday?
Today, we're going to hear from Candy Joyner-Dula on why she chose to support HBCU Gameday. Her words, my voice. I feel like there's been a lack of in-depth sports coverage for all HBCUs, especially for the smaller CIAA schools. If you go off what we see consistently in the media, you would think there are only 4 HBCUs out there. I believe that if you want this narrative to change, you have to support those platforms that are out here actively putting out content focused on all of our illustrious HBCUs. This recognition could mean increased donations and funding. I believe if schools like my WSSU want to be a part of reaping the benefits, then our stories need to be out there. HBCU Gameday and your well-written, researched, fair coverage is ahead of this wave. That's why I choose to support. What do you guys do? Candy, thank you for supporting the coverage of HBCUs with your support of HBCU Gameday.
To find out how you can support HBCU Gameday, click the link in this post or visit the Donate tab on our website.
That's going to do it for this week's Fast Break. Join us again next Monday. Thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to all of our supporters.